Now we have with us Nour Swirki, a social activist from Gaza. Swirki, thank you for joining us. Israeli forces have again injured at least 70 Palestinians in a clampdown on an anti-settlement protest in the occupied West Bank, while it continues to attack Gaza Strip, violating May's ceasefire. But the international community is silent on this Israeli aggression. What is your take?
Well, according to what is happening on the land and the reaction of the international community about the Israeli practice against the Palestinian people, and particularly here in Gaza Strip where I'm living, there is too many human rights violations against the Palestinian. And as you can see, and as it was showed in the program, we are facing like a massive or grave violation of the human rights, like our rights of life, the dignity, and the access for any dignified life. And in the last week, we lost our beloved. We have injured people because they are just acting against this undignified life in the Gaza Strip, and they are calling for lifting the siege on the sieged strip. So what they are doing is just asking for their rights, and this is the reaction of the Israeli side. And unfortunately, the international community doesn't support as it's needed for the Palestinian rights, and doesn't bring those aggressor and perpetrators, the Israelis, to the accountability and to be and call the justice for the Palestinian people.
All right, now forced evictions of Palestinians and home demolitions are being carried out by the Israeli authorities. What strategy does the Palestinian authorities could adopt to avoid these evictions and demolitions?
Yeah, so as you can, the reality on the West Bank, okay, mainly, Israeli government or the occupation can demolish any building that they they reclaim that it's an illegal building. They don't have the permission to build these buildings, and mainly in the Jerusalem and some parts of the West Bank. They can use their fake court or to have this illegal permission to demolish those buildings for the Palestinian people. At some point, they are asking those people to demolish their building by their hands, and this is clearly injustice for them, and doesn't respect their rights of having this safe places to live, and their right to move and to from place to another, and to have their families in the safe place. In the same page, we have the Israeli side reaction on the people here in Gaza. They can bomb any building here when they just can say that it's used for the military purpose, maybe, or it have some like some unaccepted use for them, despite that it's full of civilians, and sometimes without warning they can just bomb it in airstrike. And we have beside the demolition of the and the bombing, we have sometimes innocent people who lost their lives and just killed because they don't have the time to live these buildings, and some injuries at the same time. So in the both sides or in all the occupied Palestinian land, we are facing that act. I believe it's an illegal act from an occupation power.
Now, how do the Palestinians survive with strict blockade of the Gaza Strip?
They are trying to survive with the minimum level of the that they have, the materials and the minimum level of their rights and for their needs. So when it comes to Gaza, it's besieged, and there is a blockade here since 15 years. And people are trying to survive with the minimum things that they get from the borders and from what is Israel is allowing to enter Gaza Strip, like the goods, the medical materials, some like the power, when it's not accepted to have rebuilding for the power company here after it was destroyed in 2006. It's less than a minimum that anyone could survive in the other world. So they are trying their best. The same situation in the West Bank and the occupied land. They have that movement restriction. We have there that anybody could be arrested at any time. Some restriction also for some goods and some rights. So it's not easy to live in such a situation for the Palestinian people. They are making their best to survive in under undignified and illegal situation and condition, not respecting the human rights law and the humanitarian law, which is could be obligated in such situation for the Palestinian occupied land.
All right, Nour Swirki, thank you for talking to Indus News.